Alright fellas, today we're going to show you how you can save a lot of money doing these brake lines by yourself. These are all the tools you're going to need here. This thing is a straightener. It's like $60 on Amazon. Obviously you don't have to have snap-on cutters. These are like 25 bucks on Amazon. Get you a nice bend in there. You obviously don't have to have snap-on wrenches for the fittings. Then bought this from an auction. And then that roll of tubing was probably, I don't know, 40 bucks.
20 bucks for a 20-foot roll.
20 bucks for, yeah, 20-foot roll. And you go to the auto parts store and buy like a 30-inch piece of brake line. It's going to be $30 or $15. So this is a lot easier, and you can bend them however you want. If you buy a brake line kit for one of these trucks, it's like $195 without shipping. So I guess we'll get started here. I think all this will be 2 times. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to reuse all the fittings that I have. This guy's over here eating food. I'm going to try to reuse all the fittings that I have on here because they're so good. If you want to, you can wire wheel them, clean them up. I just don't like black brake lines, and these ones look absolutely terrible. If you want to come check them out, they look horrendous. Back here. Yeah, so we're going to be redoing the whole brake lines because it looks terrible. The front's going to be getting a proportion valve. That'll be in the next video because we're going to be doing square bodies parts to make it disc brakes and all that shit. All that stuff. Alright, fellas. I'm going to just take one line off at a time. And we will... I've already pre-loosened these because I didn't want to be rounding off fittings on the video. So, these should be pretty loose already. Should have? I didn't bring my flashlight.
It's probably not charged anyway.
Yeah, it is. Oh. Alright. So, how I'm going to save these fittings, I'm just going to chip the end of it off. Most likely won't work. Probably cramp it in there and then it'll be screwed. Oh. Yep, like I figured.
Cut the end of it off? What tube cut it?
Yeah, I'm gonna. Well, I cut it too short.
Give that wrench.
Yeah. It should be loose. I did all mine by hand already. I need to tighten that one. Oh, shit. We got. Oh.
Make sure you drip the brake fluid all over the nice painted frame and everything.
Yeah, brake fluid will eat paint. Do not be dripping fluid all over that stuff. It will eat everything.
I figured that out the hard way.
You're wild. Alright. So this is really a brake line tubing cutter. Really all this thing does is it's got a little razor wheel on there. It's not sharp. I mean, probably a new one is, but you're just going to spin this line in here till the fittings, it's going to fall off. The whole line is going to come apart, split it in half. It really doesn't matter what way you turn it. I can use pliers to get this thing to turn because I cut it off too short. Oh, shit. Now, so this one's a newer blade. So just cut it right in half already. What? So when you paint your brake lines, they're a pain in the ass to get the fittings back off. So save that fitting, throw that line away. You will not reuse that shit. We're gonna come back to that here in a second. But to start this off, we're gonna straighten a decent chunk of this real quick. Now this is supposed to be bolted down to a bench, a vise. I don't have a bench or a vise.
stick it in a vise, it works very well.
Yeah, I don't have a vise in the shop. But what you do is you get a little out, and you get your fat in there, and you will tighten this screw down. Not all the way. You don't want to go all the way first. Kind of straighten the brake line out. Then you're going to straighten it out some more. Do not kink it, because then you'll be very disappointed when you don't have any brake fluid coming out. So what you're going to do is you're going to get it real close so it's actually going through there and actually getting on the rollers. And you're just going to go back and forth a little bit, one or two times, so you kind of get it pretty straight. Put some leverage on the back of the line here. Then you're going to get it a little bit tighter. And just keep working it. You'll get it eventually. Kind of hard to maneuver if you don't have a bench vise. Keep going till it just barely rolls through there. Now this is a lot easier and a lot cheaper than buying junk brake line from the auto parts store and spending a lot of money. Going on a little bit more so it barely rolls through there. Now with this thing, I've always had to cut the end of it off. I've never been able to get that straight since the rollers are super far apart. But as you can tell, this thing is making this line pretty straight here. So now, as you can tell, you got a pretty straight line. Granted, you're going to be rebending, going around stuff. You want to make it look nice. I've always looked at small details when I'm doing stuff, and even when I go to shows, look at nice cars. You'll look at $100,000 cars, and they'll have brake lines that just don't look good. I mean, the small details add up really fast. But I will say, before you bend, before you flare, make sure you have your fitting on here. You'll be highly disappointed. You're going to have the best brake line you ever had, and it's going to have no flare on it. We've done it multiple times. Just triple check yourself before you're doing this stuff, because you really don't want to be going back over it. This one's junk. Yeah, you really don't want to be going back over your brake line. But I'm going to slip it on here. I'm going to try to... I mean, this stuff bends pretty easy, so you can pretty well bend it by hand. Get a nice... It's going to have a bend there anyways. So, I'm going to double flare this real quick. Show you how you can do that. We'll go down here. And we'll get all this stuff out. Alright, so obviously you need to know what line size you got. This truck's 3/16. So, wherever I put the cutter, I'm going to grab the cutter real quick. Alright, so any brake line tubing kit, you can buy these pretty cheap. I got this at an auction, some guy here in town. So all you got to do really, you take this little piece here. This is for cleaning out the end of the brake line. Just makes it easier to flare it. Run this back and forth a couple times. Clean it up. Make sure there's no goobers on there. Then you're going to take this piece and clamp it down. Make sure you put it in the right hole. You'll be very disappointed if it's not in the right hole. That's what she said. So, this is how you're going to do a double flare. You take this thing, you sit on here, you get real close, you can see where that lip's at. And you're going to tighten these down. Make sure they're tight. If you don't have them tight, you'll be very disappointed when it slips out. So a trick that I learned, that my dad taught me, is you take this right here, and you're going to take it and you're going to give her a good cinch. It's not going to crimp the brake line. It's not going to mess it up. So give her a good tighten. That means it's not going to slip out. You're going to take this piece, you're going to put it in here like this. You got to loosen this thing up a little bit here. You're going to slip this piece in here. Maybe I get it loose enough. Now you're going to take it. You're going to tighten it down. So you're touching now. All you got to do is you tighten it till that little coupler piece touches the clamp. Get a little tighten. Got a lot of line hanging off here. So we're getting pretty close. And that's about where you want to go. And take this apart and slip this thing off. Now you're going to pull this piece out. Alright, so now we're going to take this and we're going to crimp it. Give it a good pull to about there. Now, I will say, you can crack these lines doing it like that. If you go too far, you'll crack the end of it, and you can most likely bleed the brakes, but you will find out very fast that the line is cracked when it starts leaking fluid after first couple drives. I've had that happen. So, and just like that, it's not the greatest, but it looks pretty good. So, take your flare and your fitting. Make sure it seats in there pretty good. That's a real decent set in there. Now you're going to just take it, you're going to thread it in where you took that first fitting out. Always start on the wheel side. It's a lot easier to maneuver it. It's a lot easier to do this with nothing on the frame. Now that you got that in there, you got a straight brake line. You're going to bend the lines how you want them. Like I said before, the better you bend it, the straighter. I really like it when it comes down, drops down off the axle, or real close, right off the drum here. It'll drop down, go straight across. You really don't want to be putting a bunch of bends and stuff here. But if you go straight across and then you drop it in after this U-bolt, then you're going to run it here to real close to the rear diff, the cover. Then you're going to run it up at a nice round angle, up and over. Then you're going to run straight. And on these trucks with the panhard bar, you're going to come down a little bit more. You're going to go over, go down, and then go back into that block there for the T-valve. Now I'm going to do all this. Granted, I'm going to replace all the rubber hoses on the back too, because it's already apart. There's no point in not doing something that's not going to help you stop. It's not very smart to do that. So, oh, fuck! All right, I'm going to tell you, you're going to want to tighten this fitting down because you'll be very disappointed when you go to tighten it down and it doesn't sit all the way inside there. So, I'm going to give her a tighten so I can mark this where I want to go. Now, I usually use a marker, and you're going to give her a little mark. So what I like to do is take this off. This thing's going to come off and on multiple times. So just be prepared for that. So, I don't hit my back on this bumper again. The one I have right now does not go to 3/16. So, we're going to just use the 1/4 inch. It's kind of a pain with this spool on here like this. And you're really going to start with a small bend first. Start with a little 45. I got to hold it because for some reason this bender does not come with a 3/16 slot. So Now what we're going to do is we're going to rethread it in here. Like I said, this is going to be very, very time consuming. Alright, fellas. It's not the greatest work I've done. But that took about 30 minutes. Just did it real quick so I could get a video and show you guys that you can straighten this 25-foot roll up. Obviously, we're about out, so we're going to have to buy some more. For $20, you can buy a 25-foot roll of steel line. If you want to, you can paint it. I don't like shit painted. So, I'm going to clear coat over all of these lines, scuff them up, clear coat over them before I put them completely on. And I'm going to do the rest of the truck. New brake lines, better safe than sorry. So if you want to come around, check this out. It's not too bad. Goes over the diff. I had to go underneath the pan hardbore because I just like that look better. It gives a little bit better look. Like I said, it's not the greatest one I've done. I've done better. But I threw this together real quick so I can show you guys how much easier, cost effective this is than going to the auto parts store, buying straight line, or going online and buying a pre-bent kit. It's a lot nicer to do it like this than it is to spend more money. So this is a budget build, so we're going to do everything as cheap as possible. Well, there's a fine line there. We're not going to buy junk, and a lot of the stuff we're going to buy is going to come off Facebook. There's always some good deals on there. You just got to know what you're looking at. Next week, I'm going to show you guys how you can take these, leave the factory 60 to 66 front cross member underneath there. We're going to swap out ball joints and spindles to square body spindles and make it disc brakes and keep it 6 lug. So stay tuned for that, and we'll show you guys next week. Alright, fellas, yet again, this wonderful video is brought to you by an adult beverage that is very, very tasty. But thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.